Multiculturalism is the idea that there's no such thing as British culture. There's no such thing as British identity. There's no such thing as British values. And what we really need to do is bring people from all over the world and say, oh, you want to practice your religion, your culture, your this? That's great. Everybody live in their own ghetto, and we're all living this beautiful multicultural utopia, and diversity is our greatest strength. Mm-hmm. Diversity is not a strength.
Why?
Because I remember this great scene from Game of Thrones. Have you seen Game of Thrones? Do you remember when Cersei and King Robert, they're discussing the potential Dothraki invasion? Mm-hmm. And she goes, yeah, but we've got 5 times as many. We've got 5 kingdoms. They've got just the one. And he goes, what's a bigger number, 5 or 1? And she goes, 5. And he goes, 5, 1.
That don't make no sense.
Okay, that's one of the most stupid analogies that I've ever heard. Okay, so there's 5 factions against 1. There's a fist against a finger. So you've got the 5 fingers, which create a fist against the 1 finger. Now, who do we think is going to win? But that's the exact opposite of what he was saying. But to come from a smart person, which I think that he actually is, shows that he is intentionally trying to twist a narrative in order to mislead it. Okay. But it did actually touch on something very interesting about multiculturalism. Multiculturalism, I think, goes at the very foundations of what is British culture for me, because it's based on mind your own business and stay in your lane. I'm not religious, but whatever religion you want to be, no matter what you want to wear, no matter who you choose to fall in love with or not fall in love with, is nothing to do with anybody else. And call that multiculturalism. And what is wrong with that? I think that is the way it's meant to be. I think overall, the conversation that we're having now is rooted in Christian nationalism and Islamophobia, why particular communities like that have been singled out. But having said that, though, very quickly, when I was in primary school, maybe integration is a thing that matters to the indigenous population. And I only say that because the Caribbeans heavily integrated, like dive in integration into Britishness. And there's a lot of mixed race relationships and kids and things like that. And a lot of white families now have mixed race people and black people as part of their family. And it is the same with Asians as well, but not to the same extent. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because when I was at primary school, very quickly, there was a lot of aggression from primary school kids to particularly Pakistani people. Now, I've got a lot of very, very, very close lifelong friends who are Pakistanis, and I've got no axe to grind. But I'm just thinking about the households which were bothered enough to raise their white kids to be racist and have a nasty attitude towards those who tended not to integrate. Now, beyond the ignorance of that, maybe there's something to it beyond just sticking to the law and keeping yourself to yourself. Whereas the indigenous population somehow do want you to integrate, do want you to live amongst them, do want you to work amongst them, do want you to be romantically interested in them. Is that what it is? But again, a core British value is that somebody you don't know has got absolutely nothing to do with what you as an individual choose for yourself.